Hey everybody, this is Analytical Chick. Many of you may know about the Andy Ngo situation, but some of you may not, as I'm sending this information out to people who are not particularly as politically engaged as my normal subscribers, and also putting this playlist together that should help you. You can hand it out to people who are not normally political people. So, Andy Ngo is a journalist. He's Vietnamese American, gay, but he's politically conservative. I don't think he's like really politically conservative, but he has been asked in interviews and said, yes, I am conservative. And that's the funny thing, is he's been asked on like Fox. So he's obviously not putting out material that's so obviously conservative that Fox had to ask him, where do you stand on the political spectrum? And he's said, I'm a conservative. So anyway, on Saturday, he was at a protest trying to cover it, and they know who he is because he covers the riots mostly in Portland, and there's a lot of them, so he covers Antifa versus the political right. Patriot Prayer mostly, and Proud Boys are the organizations that mostly demonstrate there, and sometimes Antifa will hold a demonstration and Proud Boys will counter-demonstrate, but most of the time Proud Boys and or Patriot Prayer try to have like prayer rallies or free speech rallies, and Antifa comes. Now, you may not know who Antifa is. So Antifa is this like violent paramilitary wing of the communism, which mainstream media totally carries water for them. So anyway, he was covering it. They tossed a milkshake at him, which has been a rising trend in like the last, month or two. It started in England, in UK, but it's starting to come over to the US. And people have been worried about it because maybe there's some acid in the milkshakes or whatever. But even another issue was, it turned out that there was suspicion at one point that maybe there was cement in the milkshakes, which came out of the Portland police, not the right-wingers, which the left is claiming the right-wingers came up with this. No, it was actually the Portland police. So it does seem that at this time, I think I saw in one of his interviews, because I watched a bunch of his interviews that ended up on this playlist, I believe it was from him, maybe one of his, like his lawyer or something. But anyway, he did not have symptoms of having had a chemical burn from cement being in his milkshake. So we don't think that he had cement in his milkshake. But anyway, they tossed a milkshake over his face, and as the milkshake, the thick, milky, white milkshake was running down his face, you can see this in the videos that were pulled from the live stream. Another journalist had caught because his GoPro was stolen. You can see him trying to push the milkshake as it's running down out of his eyes, and then because he can't really see, they start beating on him. And he ended up in the hospital. He had a brain bleed. He's out. He's not recovered, but he's recovered enough. He's recovered enough to do interviews, and he has been doing interviews, but you can see that he's answering much more slowly than he would normally. I've watched his interviews before. I was already subscribed to his channel, and I've watched interviews with him because I'm pretty politically engaged. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, you don't know that, but you'll know that now. Alright, so let's get over here really quick. And so on the playlist that I'm putting up, we have some basic videos. This one is a really good video talking about culture as well. Surprisingly, he ended up on CNN, so this is a video about where he's on at CNN. He put that on his own channel. I was already subscribed to his channel. Like I said, I already followed him. This is a video particularly on the milkshaking angle. This is a conservative news network, like more conservative than Fox. They're on cable, but like not where I live, because I live in New York City, and it's a leftist hellhole. Here's another video from Tim Pool. Wait, no, this. Yeah, I have one. Tim Pool does a lot of videos. Okay, second video on the playlist from Tim Pool. NGO raises over 100,000. So another political commentator, Michelle Malkin, created a GoFundMe for his hospital bills, and that at the time of this video was over $100,000 into that, and also his story had started to go viral, actually be covered. And this woman is an immigration lawyer with a small subscription base, covers good stuff. I've actually had her on my channel twice. So, this is an interview with Harmeet Dhillon, and Sebastian Gorka had interviewed her. So Sebastian Gorka was on Trump's team, and then I think he got fired because his boss got fired, if I'm not mistaken. He was like an assistant to like, he was Steve Bannon's like assistant or something like that, or working under Steve Bannon. And then when Steve Bannon got fired or quit, Sebastian Gorka also had to leave. Anyway, and Harmeet Dhillon, I actually did a video with her. It's called like Kettling and Standing Down or something like that. It was from September 2017. You can find that on my channel. CNN calls for unmasking. I do want to take a second to talk about unmasking. So in many states, there's an anti-masking law, meaning if several people are gathered together, you can't cover your face. And the law came into being from the KKK protests, actually. So it's many states, but guess what? It's not in Oregon where this took place. I forgot to say that. It took place in Portland, Oregon. So Andy lives in Portland, Oregon. I think he's also covered stuff in like Seattle and maybe San Francisco here and there. But he mostly covers the protests in Portland, and he's covered some other stuff. He actually got on my radar when he was still a college journalist, which was like 2 years ago. So that's really crazy. He blew up because he put something on his Twitter and they fired him for it. He was actually being paid as a journalist on his college paper, and he put something on. He put out a truthful statement. I won't get into that. Anyway, this Charlie and Ben, I had never found them, but I watched like 5 or 6 of their videos today, and so they're like normal liberals. Like, they call themselves liberals, but they don't really know too much about politics. But I put it on the playlist because it's also kind of interesting to hear the reaction of what those of us who are political geeks would call normies. Which, if you ever hear the expression normie, it basically means anybody outside of your geek culture. So if I'm a political geek, which I am, and I say normie to someone else who is a political geek, we both understand that that means people who are not political geeks. This is just another interview. Oh, I believe that's Harmeet, the lawyer. Harmeet Dhillon. She's actually, I think, Indian ancestry. I'm not sure if I think she's like second generation. Diamond and Silk, they're pretty well known. They're probably, well, maybe not anymore, but they were at one point the most popular African American Trump supporters. And just a regular video. Heritage Foundation is a conservative think tank, and this looks like this is actually a video from Fox. Maybe somebody from Heritage Foundation was on Fox, and so they put it on Heritage. This is just a regular video from Fox. And Ridal, he's Norwegian. This is kind of like basic information about the attack. Tucker Carlson, this was, I think this was his first interview after he got out of the hospital, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on it. This is this is Tim Pool talking about Harmeet, who is Andy Neo's lawyer, and she said she's going to sue everyone, and she launched a GoFundMe for legal funds. And I believe Tim linked that in his description. This is Sinatra covered it, just basic information and commentary. Another Fox video. Some of these might even be duplicates. And some of the commentaries, I think, include some of the, like, Fox videos. This is a different angle than most of them. Snopes did a take on this, and this is Conservatarian Curator criticizing the Snopes take on it. So that's a little unique on the playlist. I recommend Conservatarian Curator if you're not already subscribed to him. This guy is a pastor who does political commentary, and he talks about it. This was one of the first videos that came out, so it's pretty basic information. Even though it's really long, I don't know if there's anything in there. I'm assuming most people aren't gonna want to watch every video in the playlist, but you can, like, go through the playlist and pick and choose like this, or, like, you can play the playlist if you're curious while you're doing other things, and then you, like, won't hear half of it, but it won't matter because you know. I do that. I, like, folding laundry or whatever, I put a playlist on and it plays video after video, and that's one of the reasons why I'm able to watch as much content as I watch, because I'm constantly watching content while I'm doing other things. This is an interview with Brett Weinstein, who used to be a professor, but he got chased out of his professorship by the left. Him and his wife were both professors at Evergreen State College, and now he has a podcast, and he's done, like, interviews and stuff. At one point, there was a media blackout at first, and then the mainstream media did start to cover this, so that's amazing. Lucas, New and Realist. This is just kind of regular stuff, similar to all the other videos. He actually lives in New York, and also doesn't go on camera like me. So that's the playlist, and I may put more stuff on the playlist. I'm trying not to keep this video too long. Oh, it's 12 minutes. I'm so sorry. Let's see, basic things that I wanted to cover. Harmeet, I think I told you that's his lawyer, Harmeet Dhillon. She's also featured on a video that I did in September of 2017 about kettling and standing down. So one of the other problems is the police were there, but they were stood down by the mayor, but he's denying it. So that's another issue at hand that I think I forgot to mention on this video. If you're still here, awesome. Thanks everyone for stopping by so you can watch videos on this. And if you're new to my channel from this video and playlist, check out some of my videos. I have some interesting stuff. It explains, like, Antifa, and just, like, browse the videos, browse the titles. You might find something. My early stuff is I actually think a lot of my early stuff is better than what I was doing kind of in the middle, and I feel like I'm starting to get into better stuff again. But I do things that are in the news, but I also do a lot of actual information behind the news, which can be helpful to people. Like, I know when I first politically woke up, I didn't understand anything, and I had to go look up everything, and I didn't know what kind of a source things were. So you can go through stuff on my channel. I also have a ton of playlists on different topics. So anyway, that's me, and you can always ask me questions in the comments. Even if it's completely off topic, you can ask me a question about something else. Although, try to keep it, like, if I have a video on that topic, try to put it on the video that's on that topic. But if not, just stick it on any video. Anyway, this video is way too long, 14 minutes. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you all next time.